The way she gives is like the earth. She gives like the sky. And I may never understand why some people can give such a simple love. But I've heard that butterfly wings stir up cyclones, and my actions settle on stars. Still, you mothers of mercy, focus that force and bring life into bloom where you are. Oh, how does your river flow? How does your garden grow? Too late to learn at your feet. So I'll have to wade into the wake of the master's retreat. The way she lives is like the birds. She gives shelter like a tree. And see how living on the rim, she touches every one of them with such a simple love. But I've heard that butterfly wings stir up cyclones, and my actions settle on stars. Still, you mothers of mercy, focus that force and bring life into bloom where you are. Oh, how does your river flow? How does your garden grow? Too late to learn at your feet. So I'll have to wade into the wake of the master's retreat. Once there was a way to get back home. I used to know the way to get back home. Isn't it here somehow? Isn't love clear somehow? Strength of the mountains, depth of the wind, conscience that covers the world, curled like a finger that draws you closer to a life that still haunts you. All that remains is such a simple love. All that sustains is such a simple love. But I've heard that butterfly wings stir up cyclones, and my actions settle on stars. Still, you mothers of mercy, focus that force and bring life into bloom where you are. Oh, how does your river flow? How does your garden grow? Too late to learn at your feet. So I'll have to wade into the wake of the masters. Want to wake up to the ways of the masters. I'll have to wade into the wake of the master's retreat.
I will stand with you. Will you stand with me? And we will be the change that we hope to see. In the name of love, in the name of peace. Will you stand with me? When injustice raises up its fist and fights to stop us in our tracks, we will rise, and as one resist, no fear nor sorrow can turn us back. I will stand with you, will you stand with me, and we will be the change that we hope to see. In the name of love, in the name of peace, will you stand with me? When pain and hatred turn up angry noise, fight to drown out our freedom song, we will rise in one joyful voice, loud and clear and ever strong. I will stand with you, will you stand with me, and we will be the change that we hope to see. In the name of love, in the name of peace, will you stand with me? When broken hearts come knocking on our doors, lost and hungry and so alone, we will reach as we have reached before, for there is no stranger in this our home. I will stand with you, will you stand with me, and we will be the change that we hope to see. In the name of love, in the name of peace, will you stand with me? In the name of love, in the name of peace, will you stand with me?
Good morning. Nice to see you all here. This is a church, as you know, built on covenant, not creed. We do not all believe alike or think alike, but we do all agree and covenant with each other that how we treat one another matters, and how we try to live this life in this world matters. And to that end, we try to treat respectfully people with differing paths and opinions. That is our covenant. So whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, if you care to be here with us in mutuality, you are always welcome. Do we have a B-Pod with announcements this morning? Okay. That B-Pod stands for Board Person of the Day, just so that we're not speaking in secret language codes.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really glad to see you here on this beautiful spring day. It's Some days it's cold, some days it's hot. Yesterday I was wearing a jacket, today I could probably wear shorts. Our volunteer of the month is Kelly Coffey. She's running our audio-visual tech stuff today. She's fairly new to All Souls, but she has just jumped right in the last few years. Cleanup day, the tech, the game night, everything. She's like the master of all. And our giveaway the plate this month is the Philadelphia Center. We do have, our speaker today is from the Philadelphia Center, but the Philadelphia Center is a nonprofit organization in Shreveport. It was founded in 1990 to combat the HIV/AIDS epidemic in Northwest Louisiana by empowering people with HIV, preventing new transmissions, and improving community wellness. It offers a wide range of services, including free HIV testing, case management, housing assistance, food assistance, syringe service program for harm reduction. They serve 9 parishes and just a all-around good organization for us to sponsor. So if you would throw some fat loot in the basket back there or put it on your plate, we have like what do they call it? QR. I'm saying USB code, a QR code. That would help them a lot. Thanks.
So let's get here and try to have our minds and feet and backs and bones all in the same place. If you can, take a couple of comfortable breaths and let the pew support you. You don't have to hold yourself rigid for this hour. And let us enter a spirit of worship. You do not need to change to be welcome here. You're welcome just as you are. You have nothing to prove here to me or to the person sitting next to you or to anyone else. You don't have to try to be more witty, more quiet, or more outgoing. Though I will admit we hope to encourage spiritual growth here, and most of the time that growth calls us to past our habitual comfort zones. Nevertheless, you're beautiful just the way you are. Spirituality is impossible to define and difficult to describe. It's not an idea, it's an experience. For me, it feels like connection to myself, to others around me, to the earth and all creation, as well as to that which is somehow beyond us and this. Connection to myself feels like deep, calm authenticity. Connection to others feels like community, acceptance, belonging, and enduring love. Connection to the earth brings a sense of abundance, awareness, and responsibility. And the experience of connecting to that permeating whole, the web, that which holds it all together, humbles me and brings me to a sense of wonder and yes. I hope our time together this morning will be both a comfort and a confrontation. May we together find the clarity to know both where we are too easy on ourselves and where we are too hard. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life, but let us speak today of wholeness. May we together find the courage to confront what aspects of ourselves block us from the wholeness internally and keep us from the real capacity we have to help bring wholeness into the world. May we each find ways to really connect, because when we do, it changes everything. Would someone like to help lead the first part of our chalice lighting? I'm beginning to think those are pratfalls. Waiting on y'all.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
Thank you, Jackson. Did it light?
I think it is.
Yeah. Maybe it'll grow some. The chalice, as a symbol of Unitarian Universalism, arose as a beacon of hope in an atmosphere of tyranny. The chalice arose as a sign of promise that the marginalized would neither be forgotten nor ignored. This morning, we remember all the people who have been told explicitly or implicitly, through police violence or government policy, through derision or dehumanization, that they're anything less than whole, anything less than beloved. The flame of our chalice bears witness to the life of the Spirit that dwells in us and among us. By its light, we seek to raise up those things that are precious and beautiful, holy and just for our reverence. Our church is the bridge between the past and the future, linking those who walk in the way of the Spirit. We seek to support and sustain one another no matter what befalls us through all the ages and stages of life. We teach our children what it means to be human. We help our members live in right relationship and to honor the mystery in which we live and move and have our being. As a covenantal faith, we pledge to seek what's good, what is true, what is wise, what is lovely and holy, and to know what is required of us by them. Thus we bind ourselves to walk together in the paths of love, to grow our spirits, and to stand against everything that would diminish the human spirit. Would you please rise in body or spirit and say with me the unison affirmation? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. I tried to find a good key for this song. I'm not saying that I did. But I'm going to sing low, and many of you may need to sing higher than that. Let's see. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. We'll share power in that land. We'll share power in that land. We'll share power in that land where I'm bound. We'll share power in that land. We'll share power in that land. We'll share power in that land where I'm bound. Love will guide us in that land. Love will guide us in that land. Love will guide us in that land where I'm bound. Love will guide us in that land. Love will guide us in that land. Love will guide us in that land where I'm bound. So come and go with me. Come and go with me. Come and go with me where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So this reading comes from a book that, I felt has like a big impact on my personal spirituality. It's about Sai Baba of Shirdi, who was a Muslim mystic from like the 1800s, who he's not really well known in the West, but in India he's very popular, and he was known to preach about like equality of the religions and to feed the poor. And also he was very known to have surrounded himself or to allow people with leprosy to worship with him, which at the time that was considered a very radical act because there was a lot of stigma attached to leprosy. So I thought this was a good reading for this service in particular because of the theme. And I mean, if you don't know, there was like leprosy colonies at one point in time, including in Louisiana. So a lot of the stigma attached to that is similar to what we then saw with HIV. Even though now there's antibiotics, so now leprosy is not really, it's almost been eradicated. And so this book in particular about Narasimha Swamiji was basically about, he was a civil servant who came from a very wealthy background, and then a lot of tragedies happened in his life, and he lost most of his family. And so what he decided to do was to give away all of his possessions and to then travel, meeting with different like spiritual masters and swamis, which in India that's known as like a spiritual teacher, trying to kind of find a purpose for himself. And that's when he came into contact with Sai Baba of Shirdi, and then he had a spiritual experience and became his follower, and that's when this book was written. And so this story in particular, he talks about his experience with a man with leprosy while there was a debate going on between different swamis, which would have been common at that time. So now I'm going to read it. After having realized Sai Baba, Narasimha Swamiji had another thrilling experience at Sakori in India. One day, maybe in the month of November or December 1936, Upasini Maharaj, who is another Swami, held an open feast. There were many invitees, including Swami Ram Baba, who lived in the company of Sai Baba for a very long time. At this feast he was about to attend, an old man suffering from leprosy came along. The leper had a frightening appearance. He had only one eye. Blood and pus were oozing from his disfigured lips, nose, and eyes. He had open ulcers all over his body. As if this were not enough, an awful stench also emanated from his body. Everyone was aghast at his sight. Imagine Swami Ram Baba's bewilderment when Upasini Baba told him, "Feed this old man with your hands, for he is not able to eat by himself." Swami Ram Baba pulled himself together as best as he could and started feeding the repulsive leper. He, however, took great care to see that his hand did not touch the bleeding lips of the leper. As a result, some of the food kept dropping to the ground. After the leper had eaten and walked away, Upasini Maharaj said to Swami, "Pick up the food from the plate and eat it." To eat the food that had been contaminated by the bleeding lips of the leper seemed impossible to Swami Ram Baba. Despite a desperate effort, he could eat only one morsel. After this, Upasini Maharaj looked at Narasimha Swamiji without any hesitation. Narasimha took the plate from Swami Ram Baba, ate up all the remnants without the least hesitation, as everybody looked on in amazement. Upasini told his assembled followers, "Did you see how swiftly this old man walked away? It is impossible for one so terribly afflicted with open sores to do that. Do you know who came here in the garb of a repulsive leper? It was none other than Shirdi Sai Baba himself. Only Narasimha Swamiji, who still sees God in every body, could identify him." Narasimha Swamiji realized with great joy that the Lord had come to him and had instructed him not to attach importance to the external superficialities of existence, but instead to realize that the Lord pervades everything in every being. The importance of this story is to show not to judge people by their physical ailments, because for all you know, God could come to you in any person. So, thank you.
You want to help sing the kids to their classes?
in peace, go now in peace. May the Spirit of everywhere you may go. These words are from John Lewis. Study the path of others to make your way easier and more abundant. Lean toward the whispers of your own heart. Discover the universal truth and follow its dictates. Know that the truth always leads to love and that perpetuation of peace abides in the truth. Its products are never bitterness and strife. Clothe yourself in the work of love, in the revolutionary work of nonviolent resistance against evil. Anchor the eternity of love in your own soul and embed this planet with goodness. Release the need to hate, to harbor division, and the enticement of revenge. Release all bitterness. Hold only love, only peace in your heart, knowing that the battle of good to overcome evil is already won. Choose confrontation wisely, but when it is your time, don't be afraid to stand up, speak out, and speak up against injustice. And if you follow your truth down the road to peace and the affirmation of love, if you shine like a beacon for all to see, then the poetry of all the great dreamers and philosophers is yours to manifest in a nation, a world, a community, a beloved community, a world community that is finally at peace with itself. Let your thoughts move through your body and kind of check the tight spots. See if you can breathe into them and release them a bit. Open the crown of your skull and let the flow of loving kindness come in and pour through you and your organs and limbs as we spend a moment in silence. such petty games always catch me up. And I don't know why there's so many things left to hold on to that tie me down. Something old is giving me a warning. Ancient dream, apocalyptical prophecy of a coming time when the earth will tremble with a fever and a chill. Yes, it will. I have had the good graces to meet a few friends who I can turn to in my dark hours. And I wonder if they see just what they mean to me, those shining flowers in God's garden. I'm trying to spread my love day by day, but it's hard to stay that open-hearted way. We all need love to see us through the cold and lonely nights. We're all destined to fly the same soaring heights. Sometimes I fool myself into thinking that I've got nothing left to offer here. That's when I try to be a little kinder to myself and the world all around. Why can't we just love one another the way we should? As sisters and brothers, help along the way back home. We're all going home.
Hello, everyone. So Jazmine and I, we actually went to college together, but then we had reconnected more recently, and I had met also her colleague Dietz and learned about the legislative work they were doing through Louisiana Coalition on Criminalization of Health, and then I decided it would be great for her to share this with our church, and that their message aligns a lot with our values. So Jazmine is an MPH from LSUS, and she obtained her undergraduate degree from Centenary College of Louisiana. She's also a veteran of the U.S. Air Force Reserve and currently serves as the GBT Clinic Coordinator as a PrEP Navigator at the Philadelphia Center here in Shreveport. If you don't know, a PrEP Navigator basically helps with prevention for HIV, for at-risk populations. She's currently the mobilization specialist for the Louisiana Coalition on the Criminalization of Health. And so now, without further ado, I'd like to invite Jazmine to come up here.
Okay. I had slides and I had a flash drive with them, but I actually don't need them that badly, so we'll just roll through it. So hi, everyone. My name is Jazmine, like Taha said, and thank you guys so much for having me today. I'm the GBT clinic coordinator at the Philadelphia Center, and I'm also the mobilization specialist for LCCH. And I mainly work in HIV prevention. I help prevent people from getting HIV through preventative methods such as PrEP, which is a medication that someone can take that would prevent them from getting HIV, as well as just doing sexual health testing and counseling for people at the center. Give me just a second. I'm going to pull my slides up. But thank you guys so much for having me today. This is actually my first time speaking in front of people alone. Typically with the coalition, I'm doing this with other folks, but we're a statewide coalition, so thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. And today we'll be talking about how HIV policy impacts our communities. So first, I would like to talk about funding and how that works in Louisiana, especially because you guys are generous enough to provide your donation plates to the Philadelphia Center. I think that's such an amazing choice. And just to start, Ryan White, which is a federal funding program, is what helps provide treatment and other services for people who are living with HIV. That's how we receive the funding at the center for our client services. And then prevention is actually just funded through, or isn't funded at all through the state. It's funded through donations and grants that we have that we receive at the center. So since 2011, prevention has not been funded by the state. Instead, it's from donations and grants, as well as money that's funneled from the federal government, but that funding has been level funded, which just means that we've been receiving the same amount since 2011. I'm sure you guys can imagine how inflation makes that pretty difficult. So, and there are currently threats to funding continuing throughout this administration. Last year, there was a bit of a scare because at first we did think that we were going to lose some of that Ryan White funding, but thankfully, because of the tireless work of activists and advocates across our nation, we've been able to maintain that. But that is not to say that our government does not have tricks up their sleeve, as we know. My best, or all I can ask is that we continue to advocate for these programs within our own communities, continue to encourage people to come to the Philadelphia Center if they need testing or any of these services, because when people come to us, that proves that we are needed and that we're necessary. So that's that. Also, on August 22nd of this year, the Philadelphia Center is having our auction, and the theme this year is Clueless, based off of the movie. So if any of you guys are interested in the auction, that information is on our website. I can also give that to you. I'll be hanging around if anybody has any questions or just wants to talk about any of this. And before I get into our bill, I just want to give you guys a real quick HIV 101. And basically, I just want to make sure that people know how HIV is transmitted and how it's not transmitted. We know that HIV can only be transmitted through blood, semen, or vaginal fluid, and this is only if the person who is living with HIV is not on their medications. We call this U equals U, so somebody who's living with HIV, who's taking their medications, who's really taking care of themselves and going to the doctor actually can't transmit the virus to them or to anyone else, because if they were to take a test, their viral load is so low that it's considered undetectable. And so this is what we call undetectable equals untransmittable. And I think that this is important to note, mainly because oftentimes people think that you can still get HIV from giving someone a hug or sharing a utensil or even just using toilet seats, and none of these things are true. And also, even if you came in contact to somebody living with HIV through sex or through an accidental needle stick or something that could potentially create an opportunity for transmission, there's actually a very low chance there's actually no chance that would happen if that person was undetectable. So that is just relatively new science. We've known this since 2016, so this is the 10-year anniversary of U equals U, and it's really cool because not only do we know that HIV or people who are living with HIV can prevent themselves from transmitting it to someone else, but we now know that we also have preventative methods such as PrEP that people can take. Basically, we call it the birth control for HIV, that would prevent them from getting HIV as well. And modern science has proven that there are so many effective ways to prevent transmission, and criminalization is not one of them. So my second hat that I have, in addition to what I do at the Philadelphia Center is I'm the mobilization specialist for the Louisiana Coalition on Criminalization and Health. And we are working to advocate against a law that we have in the state known as our HIV intentional exposure law that basically makes it a felony with a 15-year sex offense to expose someone to HIV without their knowledge. Now, on the face of it, oftentimes, this information can make people somewhat uncomfortable, or it can make it's difficult to understand how we got to the place that we are today. But there's some things that I just want you guys to know about the law in general, and it's that it criminalizes exposure by any means or contact. So actually, people could be criminalized for ways that actually don't transmit HIV at all. We've seen people receive felony offenses for ways that we know there's no risk of HIV transmission. It's simply because there's a certain amount of stigma that is put onto that person, an assumption that they're a danger to society, and therefore there has to be something that's done about it. And the state solution is criminalization, which, as we had talked about so much this morning in itself, is an injustice as well. And I want to emphasize the fact that this law says exposure by any means or contact, so there's no room for actual modern science to come in this. The way that the law currently is, it does not actually talk about the ways that HIV is transmitted or even recognize that as well. So, and oftentimes, we hear about cases where someone may have told their partner their status, but then something goes wrong, mad day comes, and then that partner can go around or can turn around and say, hey, you never told me your status, I'm going to press charges against you. And that's happened to many people that I know personally, and that's a pretty consistent story within HIV criminalization in the state as a whole. This was very quick information, so please, if you guys have any questions later on, please come to me and I will answer them. So next, I would like to talk about House Bill 808. It's the bill that LCCH is bringing forward this year, and our bill sponsor, his name is Representative Wayne McMahon. He is a Republican out of Minden, Louisiana, so just a little bit further up north. And currently, the way that the bill stands, we would change the law to align with modern science, which is pretty much undeniable, right? We want our laws to reflect accurate scientific information if we're going to criminalize people for a health status that they may not have any control, well, that they don't have any control over. In addition to aligning our law with modern science, because we'll be not only naming the routes of transmission, but also making sure that people can only be charged if there is a likelihood, a substantial likelihood of transmission within that encounter. But it also will establish the ceiling of private medical information of both parties. So oftentimes we'll see people, when they're charged, plea out before trial just out of fear that their status may come to light in a group of strangers, essentially. And so many people plea out before they even have the opportunity because HIV is extremely stigmatized, and not everybody wants a bunch of strangers in a courtroom or their boss or various other people in their lives to know that they're living with HIV. And so it's a very complex, or this law works in many complex ways that we may not see just out as charges, but just within somebody's personal life and within their personal circles and within their personal communities, we see how this stigma continues to perpetuate injustice. And as of right now, House Bill 808 is scheduled for next Tuesday, or this upcoming Tuesday, the 28th. So we'll be at the Senate for the bill to be heard. We just made it to the Senate we made it to the Senate a couple weeks ago, and honestly, this is the furthest that LCCH has ever gotten with a bill. So we're really excited about this change and the fact that we could potentially have some more progress. So next, I'm going to talk about advocacy and spirituality. Honestly, this was a challenge for me because I have not stepped foot in a church in a very long time, well, outside of here. And so it was a challenge for me to really think about this in my personal life. I've only been doing this work for about a year now, so I'm still very new to all of it, but I will do my best. I wrote something out for you guys. So, I was a philosophy minor when I was pursuing my undergraduate degree. Not only did those classes teach me how to make a strong argument or write a 500-word essay in an hour before class, But I learned to seek truth and justice in ways that challenge the world that we're taught to live in. I learned about Louisiana's deep histories of converting slavery into mass incarceration, and I felt angry that our justice system seemed to reflect everything but the justice it claimed to enforce, especially in our home of Caddo Parish. Fast forward to about a year ago, when I was first learning about HIV criminalization. I decided to dive into this work once I realized that 91% of people convicted with these charges are Black men. The disparities in how this law is enforced are quite clear, and this law has been used as a mechanism of state violence against Black bodies. Something must be done about this. I was challenged to connect this work with my spirituality. And while I'm still discovering and exploring where my spirituality lies, I may not have much faith in one God or goddess, but I have so much faith in our community's capacity to make change. See, Ryan White did not happen overnight, but as a result of collective resistance and persistence of activists and advocates who believed that change was not only possible, but inevitable. In a world that feels full of violence and uncertainty about the future, I don't have to speak about what that is because we know, but if you want to talk about it, we can. I implore you to think back and honor those who have made the changes that we see today. And I challenge you to celebrate the positive changes that you have contributed to, whether or not through volunteerism, advocacy, donating to a cause you care about, or simply being kind to someone else. Our changes may not happen the way we expect them to, or even come to fruition before we leave this earth. But our capacity for change is essential to our futures. And with that, I would like to share my favorite quote from Octavia Butler. This is probably one of the most popular ones, so if you read Parable of the Sower, you know where I'm going. But it is, all that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. Thank you.
She says a lot in a little while, huh? Excuse me. Our closing hymn, by request from Taha, is We'll Build the Land. So rise in body or spirit. We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where all is one family, anointed by God, made and create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bind up the brick tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll bring them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where all is one family, anointed by God, bathe and create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come build a land where all is one family, anointed by God, made and create peace, where justice shall roll down like water, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where the coats of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come build a land, my people we see. Come build a land where all is one family, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. It's been a long struggle, and our work is far from over. As we go forth, may we be empowered by the spirit of hope and healing, whose one name is God and whose other name is love. May the blessings of love be upon us and within us. May love's truth be upon our vision, and love's wisdom dwell within our hearts. May love's persistence inspire our lips. May love's gentleness give comfort to our bodies. May love's gratitude accompany our sleep. May love's healing be a balm for our brokenness, and love's serenity give peace to our weary souls. May love's confidence energize our minds, and love's challenge keep us faithful in our struggle, in our conviction. May we dare to connect with ourselves, others, the earth, and that which is greater than all of us, so that wholeness may one day become as familiar as brokenness that may now seem so prevalent. You're beautiful. You have agency. You, your heart, and your willingness make a tremendous difference. Don't forget that as we go in peace, as we go in compassion, as we go in confidence. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. Namaste.
Love will bring a brood down. Love will drown out a tyrant. Compassion and connection build a power that can rival the sun.
If they can't keep us hating one another, they can be undone. Make yourself a practice thinking thoughts that are kind about the very ones that drive you out of your mind. Grounded flailing wire shooting sparks in the air to light your heart and guarantee the spark will stay there.
Love will bring a brute down.
Yeah.
Love will drown out a tyrant.
Compassion and connection build a power that can rival the sun.
Love will bring a brute down.
Gotta keep an open hydrant. If they can't keep us fighting one another, they can be undone. If hatred feeds the dark, it could be counting on you to fuel it, hating every blinking thing that they do. Entertain the notion there's a twist it can break, the cycle that divides us for humanity's sake. Love will bring a brute down. Love will drown out a tyrant. Compassionate connection build a power that can rival the sun. Love will bring a brute down. Gotta keep an open hydrant. If they can't keep us fearing one another, they can be undone.
No one's talking magic, every scientist knows. Your power gets directed where your inner energy goes. It isn't wasted effort to untangle inside.
Flip the flow around and let your little light shine. Love will bring a brute down. Love will drown out a tyrant. Compassionate connection build a power that can rival the sun. Love will bring a brute down. Gotta keep an open hydrant. If they can't keep us fearing one another, they can be undone.
If they can't keep us fighting one another, they can be undone.
If they can't keep us hating one another,